Hi, so in this video we're going to provide an overview into ShareDo's matter intake and client onboarding process. So matter intake is managed through a specialist work item called an instruction, and it describes the life cycle, the attributes, and all of the behaviours and the workflow that we go through. From initial data capture, through to assessment and triage, through to a lot of compliance activities like deduplication, conflict, identity checks. So this aligns nicely to some of ShareDo's what we call accelerator packs. So this is pre-configured templates to enable this. So we'll take a closer look at that. And like everything else in ShareDo, as a work item, it can be configured through workflow, through work item modeler, but also you can create lots of derived types for specialist journeys around your instruction process. So what we'll do is we'll jump into ShareDo and we'll look at instructions from two angles. We'll look at instructions from configuration through modeler, but also from the journey of an end user. It's worth noting that we can incept work in lots of different ways in ShareDo. So we can do that from different machines calling our APIs. We can do that manually through our instruction process. You can do that through your client portals, but you can also do that through your external portals. We also support a mass ingestion of data through our data loading framework, so you can have your Excel spreadsheets to upload your data. And we'll dip into a couple of those process journeys in this demonstration. So inside of ShareDo, because instruction is a work item, we can come to our work type configuration and we'll find our instruction. And again, because this uses the inheritance tree, we can configure base types for our instruction journey, and then we can specialize as we go through and create what we call derived types for different instruction and intake processes. So if we jump into one of these, again, because it's a work type configuration, we can configure all of the different elements that support our intake process. So everything through its life cycle for our different types. That might be, we get one in draft, we do some initial triage, we do a commercial agreement, it goes into an opportunity, the different life cycle across our different instruction types. And we've got a whole bunch of workflows that we ship with in terms of ShareDo accelerators that support that journey. So this is where we configure that journey through Modeler. If we jump into the front end from a user perspective, and we'll look at a couple of different journeys around that. So one of the things that preeminates this instruction journey is a thing called a folio. So a service folio is all of the product lines or all of the work types that we can configure. And we can target different folios, again, at different personas. So we can say, hey, we've got a client portal, and this is the folio for this specific client or this specific type of work. And this is the entry point into our instruction process. There's lots of different folios that are available inside of ShareDo to cover all of your key use cases around things like litigation, regulatory, commercial, real estate. If we just jump into one of these, so we'll just invoke this, so you can see all of the different types. And we'll start the journey around this data collection. So we'll take a quick look at a journey around data quality, around capturing the different attributes, and then we'll talk about something that we call mandates, product lines, things that these things are going to run within, the rules and behaviors that your clients or your products you can inherit from. So we'll just capture the key data and we'll show that. So what we've got is an entry form, and again we can create these in different ways, en masse, en bulk. And this is starting the journey around that. And we can provide, or you can configure lots of different portal views, so lenses onto this work. And this will behave like any other work item inside of ShareDo. So it's going through a journey as a defined start, as a defined end, and we'll do different stages and collections in between. So out the box, ShareDo comes with lots of pre-packaged content to support your intake journey, managed around this special work item called an instruction. So you can see in here, I've got this instruction. It's already kicked off things like conflict check and duplicate check. I can start my journey around its life cycle, and we can surround the user with all of the features and functionality that we need, whether that's communications, whether that's generating documents, whether that's capturing data, whether that's walking it through its life cycle. And in the end here, what I really want to do is, at the end of my life cycle, I'm either going to discard this or qualify this lead or this opportunity or this instruction out because we failed conflict or we've got a duplicate, or I'm going to get to the point where I'm the entry point for my actual case. So I'm going to do some conversion process. And again, you can configure lots of different rules that check that we've got all of the applicable data in the right place. We've passed all of our compliance checks before I go off and spin up a new case from my instruction. I can also see all of the instructions that are linked to this case that have been created as its entry point. And going up one step, as we mentioned, as part of this, we've got a mandate. So we just take a quick look at the mandate. The mandate really is really the rules that we can configure once and reuse for all of the instructions that we're going to invoke. So that might be client-specific mandate to say, hey, we want you to work within this context. So these SLAs, these timings, we want you to capture this data. Or it might be a product mandate. So you're offering this service and you want all of the cases or all of the instructions to go through this eligibility assessment or respond to these SLAs. So there's a specific work item inside of ShareDo called a mandate, and we can quickly go there, create them, and get some configuration that we will inherit. So every time you onboard a new or you take a new instruction, it will run in the context of your mandate. So you can set bounds, you can set rules, you can set guidelines for all of your handlers, and we'll inherit that behavior, but your workflows can look up to it. So they can look up to the mandate. So we're not configuring, we're not creating lots of different rework across all of our workflows to handle the same case type in a different client instruction. So these are called client mandates. So that's a real quick introduction into ShareDo's matter intake process using out-of-the-box instructions. We ship with an accelerator pack with all of this configuration. And in the next video, we're going to be taking a closer look at business intelligence.